all of the things.
We're always like 10 minutes late to
Oh,
all of our
whatever.
Facebook lives. I just have 10 messages going on.
No, that's not from. That's from the other message thing that was going on. YOLO.
I'm actually pretty passionate about what we're going to talk about tonight. I love having Derek on because like he's awesome. He gets it. He's going to do this.
I will just double check all of the platforms. If that is all right with you, because it's all right.
I don't know if you should be singing.
I always sing.
All right, let's sing.
Well, it's like, whatever. Okay.
All right. Then you got to tell me, like, hi, by the way, are we live on the Facebook?
We are live indeed. We're live.
See if anybody's watching.
Couple. We always sing.
Should we just let it prime for just a minute, get some people's attention? Maybe somebody's scrolling through your Facebook feed and you're like, hey, I'm a member of Six Figure Fitness Team.
Through, it's like, stop.
Shoot.
Collaborate and listen.
Oh, go.
Ice is back with a brand new
floor is
edition.
yours.
Something grabs a hold of me, tightly flow like a hot dillion nightly. Will it ever stop, yo? I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll go. I don't know the rest of it. This is the part where I'm like,
is your volume all the way up?
Yeah, it's all the way up.
All the way up.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome.
Hang on. Let's bring our microphone back that's not plugged in. Can everyone hear us out there? Testing.
Daniel Kump, what's going on, sir? Good to see you tonight.
What's up? Hey, guys. Welcome to Six Figure Fitness Team, Now Lifestyle, Wednesday night extravaganza.
We are Adam and Ashley Rieger. We are super excited to be here with you tonight.
Well, number one, we both have Nike hats on tonight. I've got my white tee on. And when I got a white tee and a blue hat on, that can only mean one thing.
It's about to go down.
Yep. For real.
Something exciting is going to happen, isn't it?
It's going down for real. And then it's like, okay. Seriously, though. We are going to do our typical Wednesday night event, which is what? Well, we like to talk about traffic, conversions, LCS, lead capture system is what that means, and duplication, okay? And we have a super awesome guest to bring on tonight. His name is Derek Nelson, and the dude is just awesome.
How did Derek come to be? How did we come to connect with Derek?
You want to know an awesome story about Now Lifestyle? Joel Tarian markets his company, right? Like crazy. And Derek, I believe, had ran into Joel Tarian. We'll ask him about that on Instagram. And then Derek linked up with me after that conversation with Joel because he was interested in building a business within Now Lifestyle. Yeah. And so we have started working with Derek very recently, like I'm talking 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to give some massive hints tonight about how to grow a fast business. Derek has went all in with his business. He has started driving traffic, not just on one platform, but several. He has a right leg of business that we're helping him grow. And hark, he started building his left leg of business. Binary structure. That means two, right?
Interesting. It's like success leaves clues.
Yeah. So, Derek, I'm going to let him tell his story because this is not his first journey or his first opportunity in our industry, okay? He saw some things in Now Lifestyle, which I'm going to let him talk about also. And when I see somebody like that and I ask them if they want to lock arms and go do this thing together, people say yes all the time. Then I say, okay, prove it. Well, he's proven it. He's proven it. Why is he proving it? Number one, he's coachable. Okay. He's not an asshole, right?
Asshole.
Right.
Yes.
Means when he asks me something and I give him an answer, he does something with the answer like yesterday. Okay. And so he's went all in his business. He's driving traffic through multiple different platforms. He's seeing success in growing. But we're going to let him tell his story. And so we want to bring Derek on right away because we're really excited to have him. So let's bring on Derek Nelson.
All right. Let's take a look here. Wait on it. Just a second. There he
There he
is.
is.
What's going on, Derek?
How you doing?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
I am great.
Very good. Well, Derek, we just wanted to take a few minutes and ask you some questions.
Okay.
In front of the entire Six Figure Fitness team. And really, my first question to you is, where in the heck did you find out about Now Lifestyle?
Well, your first question should have been, do I have a fear of public speaking? But where did I first hear about Now Lifestyle? It was interesting because, you know, I'm into fitness. I exercise. You know, like most of us can probably lose a few pounds, but you know, I do like to go to the gym, and I follow a lot of people on Instagram that are into physical fitness. And of course, I follow Joel. And we had gone back. I don't recall how long I've been following him for. Maybe a year, maybe a little bit less. But I'd follow him, and every once in a while, you know, I'd comment, and you know, he'd comment back. It had nothing to do with anything but exercise. You know, he was explaining about a 7-minute workout, and you know, some people comment on the thread, this is BS, or you know, whatever they want to believe. Yep. But I had asked him because I'm familiar with that world, and so I said, you know, is this like how an old bodybuilder would train? His name was Mike Menzer. He kind of introduced that one set per exercise type of mentality, and he said that's exactly it. And you know, so we had some dialogue, and he actually, as you know, on Instagram, he doesn't follow too many people on there compared to the amount of followers he has. But after a dialogue, when he was talking about his daughter and I was talking about my daughters, you know, he connected with me, and ultimately what ended up happening in the month of May was he said he wants to get down to 6% body fat by his 46th birthday. So I just asked, I said, how do you stay so lean? Like, I lift and, you know, I try to watch my diet, but it's not always the case.
Sure.
But how do you manage to stay so lean year round? And he said, watch this webinar. And it was really a webinar based on the Fiber Challenge, where you're really increasing your protein intake and your fiber intake. And, you know, that's when I just signed up. I said, you know, I'll give it a shot. And when I first signed up, I was like, all right, well, it's a tracker, this and that. But it was like within a 24-hour period, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a business in an industry that I'm passionate about, with a guy who really seems to have cornered marketing mastery. And like, who better to align yourself with, you know, a guy that's into not only his own health, but really wants to help the world get healthier, and has the marketing campaigns behind it. I mean, how many businesses out there are going to give you multiple ways to generate a cash flow of income every month or every week, what have you? So that's, you know, that's what got me excited about the whole thing.
Man, so question Joel was very relatable, like right off the bat when you connected with him, right?
Yeah.
Did you have any idea that he had already made over $250 million online when you connected with him?
No, I knew he was a successful guy. I didn't realize to what magnitude. You know, and he's such a humble, nice guy, and he's here to help those who want to help themselves.
That's awesome, and that's what we saw too. I just loved it when I got to connect with you and you were telling me about your personal relationship that you had created with Joel, because he is that same person to everybody all the time, and it's really duplicated down into the entire corporation of Now Lifestyle, a group of focused individuals who for real want to go out there and help people if they want to be helped.
Sure.
Right? Very good. Well, that's awesome. And I know that you are utilizing the products and having success with those too, right?
Yeah, I have my the auto ship, the $149 a month. I haven't even gotten through the month. I had an emergency trip to the vitamin shop because I already ran out of the stuff. Because I'm trying to get as much protein for my body weight, which was something I wasn't necessarily doing, but now I'm more conscious of it. And what's interesting about this, if you have people who are interested in the product, the interesting side, I'm going to be my own testimonial. Because what I found was I really increased the fiber intake, and the fiber is it's not tough on your stomach at all.
No.
I increased the protein intake, and what I found was it only took about 2 or 3 weeks, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's not like I'm never going to go out with the kids and have an ice cream, but I feel like my sugar cravings are all but gone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's because you never put yourself in that starvation state. You always feel full because the protein, digests slower than some other things. You eat the right foods on top of that. And, it's more of a mindset of, hey, listen, especially if you're growing a business like Now Lifestyle, as time goes on, you're going to get busier. So you want to make sure that you're eating correctly, because eating correctly is going to give you more energy throughout the day. So if you're sitting around on your laptop and you're eating chips and cookies and what have you, you're going to have these major crashes. And I'm not even talking long term. I'm just talking like today. And because I've been there, I don't like to feel that 2 or 3 o'clock crash. Whenever I eat something, I habitually go right back to the pantry and go back. So we need to keep our energy levels up, and you're going to get so busy, you're not going to have time to stuff your face. So what you want to do is just not be hungry, so it's not even on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what his nutritional program teaches you.
Love it. So Derek, you touched on the value that you saw and that you've already been able to experience as an example of the products, right?
Mm-hmm.
You also, when you tagged up with Adam and I, we started talking about the opportunity and, your background, like you're a traditional business owner, you're in business for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
Doing insurance. What was the value that you saw on the business side? Because you've clearly seen and have been witness to both sides of this company. What's that experience been like, and what value have you found in that?
Value I found with the Now Lifestyle as opposed to traditional?
Yeah. Or
leverage.
Even just from a business perspective. Yeah.
Leverage is the one. I can't think of a better word. I mean, how nice does it feel to wake up and have emails seeing that you have people that signed up, whether it's personal or not? I've gotten over the last week, I've gotten something like 40 non-personal signups. It still feels good because it's still growing, whether it's personal or not. But the point is, you wake up, I get up 5:36 in the morning, I do my little routine, and then I turn on my phone because, I don't want to be distracted as soon as I open my eyes.
Yep.
So I turn on my phone and I look at the email, and it's like, oh, look, I got 6 or 7 leads. And that is the power. You can either trade your time for money or you can buy time with money. Oh. And so it's like, what choice are you making in life? And I've done both. And listen, I'm not out here saying, hey, listen, I've been with Now Lifestyle a month, I'm making $1 million a month. That's not where my head's at. Right now I have to do both. And what I'm gonna do is, I would urge anybody who has a job, there's a couple of things that need to happen. If you're listening, you want to grow a real business, and right now you're working a job because that's what pays the bills, here's what I would suggest. I got this from, whatever financial planning I've worked with people. But if you're working a job, obviously that's your main source of income. You don't want to throw that out the window because you'll find yourself starving very fast. Okay, you got to be able to replace your income before you cut one income off. Yep. So you don't want to just cut the head off of that snake. What you want to do is make sure that if you have debt, pay it down. I've run into a lot of people that are paying all these monthly payments to credit cards and what have you, and they're funding a retirement account, and it's like, what's the point? You're paying 15% of credit cards and you're hoping to make 7 or 8 in a 401k. Stop the 401k, use that extra money to pay down the debt, and then if you really believe in Now Lifestyle, if you really think it can work, if you're testing the waters, then this probably isn't the right statement for you. But if you really believe the business is going to work, if you have no debt, or once you pay that debt down and you're still working that job, assuming it hasn't grown as fast as you'd like it, I would even consider diverting what my 401k contributions were into the business. If you really believe it's going to work.
I'm not sure if anybody's taking notes right now, but Derek just dropped golden nuggets to you right there.
That was inside baseball.
That was bombs. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm serious, man. And we've had a lot of people on. They did a great job. I love your insight because of your background
Yes.
and the way that you see Now Lifestyle, because you see it from a professional perspective as a guy who gets to see a lot of the world make a lot of decisions and then dictate and give them advice on where they should be placing their funds and where they should be focused, right? So within Now Lifestyle, a business that can grow so far beyond you, is there any better investment than in yourself and in your business? And I don't even care if it's Now Lifestyle.
Yeah, no, any business really that's going to give you leverage where, you know, you don't have to trade your time for dollars is always going to be a plus. There's a lot of ways to create that. So, you know, if you owned an apartment building that was worth $1 million, you'd need at least $100,000 to put down on that. And how many doors do you have, and what kind of profit are you going to get annually? You know, let's figure your net 10%. You know, $1 million property is going to give you about $10,000 in your pocket every year based on what your down payment was. How much quicker could you get to $10,000 a year with the Now Lifestyle, with just building a team? You could probably get to $10,000 a month quicker than you could ever get to $10,000 a year in real estate investing. Now, I'm all for real estate, don't get me wrong, but it's a much slower, much more long-term process. Maybe as we all start building, we pool our money together and invest in real estate, right? You know, just outsource that money. But yeah, you got it. I'm just looking at it from different perspectives. You know, I sit down with retirees that, you know, some of them have $1 million, and they're lucky if they can get a withdrawal rate on that money of 5 or 6%. So at 6%, they're getting $60,000 a year before taxes. So $1 million isn't as much as we think.
No.
And it doesn't go that far, especially if it's at risk and you can lose some. So I think the biggest risk right now that any one of us can make it, and I'm talking to the people that believe truly in the Now Lifestyle, the biggest risks that we can take are not being completely focused, not being consistent, and, you know, just not going all in. And, you know, because eventually you're going to flail and go away. Because listen, it's a young company that was founded by an individual who's been doing marketing for 20 plus years. The guy's an expert. You know, I had asked Joel, you know, I asked him how much the sales were. Revenue was about 15 million. Look at some of these older companies. Look at the type of volume they're doing. 15 million. I mean, this can be 100 million, 200 million, 300 million a year in no time. And the question is, do you want to ride that train?
You just dropped like 67 awesome golden nuggets. Seriously. And to touch on what you just said, one thing that the sharpest of the sharp out there, like that you see, is that it's a new company, and not just that it's a new company, but what it's offering people. A vehicle to get in shape for sure, getting better all the time, but one of the coolest, most unique online opportunities for the brand newest person that's never even been online before. Because 99.9% of the population is not doing business online the way we are. But how cool is it? Because Joel has built all of the tools for us, so we didn't have to go and split test and spend tens of thousands of dollars to make one funnel that works before you turn a single profit. All of our LCS pages convert at 50% or above, you know? And so it's done for us. We're just like tapping into it because we see where it's going like you do. And here's something cool, because I know this for a fact. Joel Therrien's goal with Now Lifestyle isn't a couple $100 million a year. It's $1 billion. And I know that he is poised and ready to go make that happen because of everything that you said. Yeah, he's been online for a long time. He's been in the industry for a long time. He's very successful.
Sure.
He's now positioning himself to go make Now Lifestyle $1 billion company. And what it takes is people like you and I and the Six Figure Fitness 3LE team, all the leaders that see it and exactly what you said. Stay persistent and consistent. Because when it happens, it goes boom overnight. And I've shared some inside baseball with you about Ashley and I's business. This is our 5th full month. and this is crazy because this is going to happen for you, Derek. We did a webinar with Daniel to All of Now Lifestyle about 3 weeks ago, and I think we had 522 people on our team.
Yeah. Wow,
We've grown by almost 100 in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And it's the slowest growth
Tremendous.
we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
So from a business, go ahead.
Just to put this into perspective, I'm not a mathematician. I probably should have been able to do this in my head. But if Now Lifestyle hits $100 million, and not even so much if, I'm just talking projecting out, and any one of us can capture 1/10 of 1% of that. You can check my math, but that's $100,000 a year.
Yes, it is.
Now you multiply that by 10, you're at $1 million a year just getting 1/10 of 1% of that business.
Yep. Man, I love that you brought that up too. It's one of the reasons I've loved it to connect with you is because you understand that thought process behind what's happening in the position that we're all in with this company and going from point A to point B. Because it's exactly what you just said. Sometimes you find yourself in the right place at the right time, or there's people like you that know what the right thing looks like at the right time.
Yeah. You could be at the right place at the right time. If you're not aware of it, it's going to pass you right by. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen probably to 95% of the people we speak to. And that's okay. You don't need them. You need the people that see it, because if you're not aware of something, you can't take advantage of that opportunity. So this is the right opportunity for everybody here. I mean, this is a huge opportunity this is a big pie that's, you fast forward 5 years from now. I mean, it's going to be a monster. It's going to be a monster in a year or two. Can't imagine what 5 years is going to look like.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we're in the business of helping people. And it's not even just the health part. I mean, you're going to change people's lives financially. The average person, even over the age of 45, 50 years old, if they went 3 months without an income, they're screwed. They're out of their house, they're foreclosing. And that's a problem in this country. So if you can even show somebody, like, one of the landing pages says, how would you like to make an extra $500 a month? Do you know what $500 a month would do to somebody's life? I mean, It's incredible. Yeah. And actually, that's just the end. You don't want to pitch people too high, because most have a paradigm and a belief system where they'll just think you're lying.
Yes.
So, but if you're like, an extra $500 or $1,000 or $1,500 a month, hey, listen, that can help you save for retirement. As opposed to saying, hey, you want to make $50,000 a month? People aren't going to buy into that because they don't even have $1,000 in their bank account.
Yes.
So you have to, I think when you talk to most people, you have to take that approach.
I think you just hit on a whole bunch of things because expectations are something that Ashley and I are going to get into here pretty quick.
Yeah.
On this webinar. So thank you. Like, you're just knocking it out of the park. Anybody that has the opportunity to work with you is very blessed. They're extremely fortunate. And when they lock arms with you, I know for a fact you're going to help them go to the top if they want to go. So as far as your business goes, I'm sure you pay attention to the numbers going on in your business. Right and left leg, how many folks are in your downline or on your team today?
As far as all those non-personal signups I get, it's hard to keep track, really. I mean, it's at least 50 or 60 people. I have some work to do on the other side of that.
Sure.
But again, I haven't even been signed up for a month, so it's going to happen. I'm not worried about that. Yeah. I didn't really expect it to be. Hey, listen, if it happens in 4 months, it kind of is overnight, right?
Yeah.
So but I don't even think it's going to take that long. It doesn't look like it is, and probably all I need to do in my next step. I've been investing some in the solo ads. I mean, this is why you got to continue to earn an income, because all it probably takes to really gain a little bit of momentum is, hey, maybe invest in some guaranteed signups.
Consistency. Yes. Yeah. Your mentality is absolutely spot on, 100 million%. So I think you've been I think we connected maybe about 3 weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure there's at least 60 people on your team right now today. And the wild thing is what happens when those 60 people, or not even those 60, but a handful of them, tap into the information that you're talking about and understand what they've got their hands on. And then all of a sudden that 60 goes to 600 rather quickly. And that's the powerful thing about this, dude.
Gets you excited, right?
And one of my favorite things about Derek is a lot of times when I wake up in the morning, I have a text message already from him.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're just fine. It says a lot to me because there's a handful of folks in our organization that happens with.
Yeah.
And, success leaves clues. Leaders raise their hand.
Yeah.
Leaders say, hey, I'm going to beat your door down until you give me the answer to my question. And that's what we did to Daniel Kump. And that's what I'm giving you permission to do, or anybody that really wants to do this thing. And the thing about Derek is why he'll always get, number one, my respect and my help all the time is because he does things with the information we give him.
Yep.
If people are sending me a million messages during the day and I tell you what to do and you don't do it, that might change.
Yeah.
I got a leverage, just like Derek says. Okay, man, that was absolutely awesome. Like, you just dropped some of the best value bombs of anybody we've ever had on a Wednesday night webinar.
It was
Seriously.
so nice to just listen.
Well, I'm flattered. I'm blushing. Thank you. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, it's an honor to be on here with you.
I have a feeling that this won't be the last time that you're on to the team or the entire team.
Yeah.
So
we're going to show the entire team, Derek.
Burn the opportunity bridge down behind you.
Love it.
Anything that you've got in closing, one secret to your life or your mindset that you can leave everybody with?
Yeah. And by the way, if anybody wants to touch base with me, I'm an open book. You can connect with me on social media. I'm be happy to, my story's been a major roller coaster. I'm not sure. I'm fairly new here, so I don't know if this happens yet, but I know at some point we'll be doing annual conferences for Now Lifestyle, and hopefully I'll get to tell my story on stage. But I have been through the ringer in my life. I have been low, I've been high, and been even lower. So I've been through it all. What I do, the reason why you hear from me so early, what I consistently do is one of my daughters, thank God school's finally ending tomorrow. She's up at 6. Her bus comes at 6:45. So I get up a half hour before her generally. The coffee's ready. I kind of just sit on my couch. I write down my long-term goals, and they're not reasonable. They're some of the most unreasonable goals. If I wouldn't even tell them to anybody else because they're so unreasonable, but it's not. Those are my dreams. They don't need to understand them, right? They have their own paradigms, and so I write those down, and then I think about them. I may look out the window if I can see the sunrise and what have you. I just think about them. And then I make sure that I'm reading some kind of positive book. Right now I'm reading a Weldon Long book. It's a great book. I think it's called The Power of Consistency. It's actually my 3rd time going through it.
Awesome.
That is this millennium's Think and Grow Rich, this guy. That's what it is. And it's a very powerful book. So I make sure that I read at least 10 pages a day of that. And I don't turn my phone on until that's done because it's easy to get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then once like my daughter wakes up and the breakfast, then the phone goes on, and then I check, and then I like to post a lot of inspirational stuff. I don't even think I'm doing it for other people. I think I'm doing it for me.
Right.
And through the toughest of times, it's kept me sane.
Yeah.
When things are going real bad, I think about reevaluate your goals. Reevaluate. Don't make goals. The motto is that I've learned is don't make goals so realistic that they're easy to hit, because then it's like, where's the passion behind that? It's like, I want to make an extra $5,000 a year. It's not that hard. You can go out and dig ditches and do that in 3 months. It's not that complicated. You can do that. But, what if you wanted to multiply your income by 10? What if you wanted to make your annual income into a monthly income? That's what I'm shooting for. I've made good money in the past and I've been smacked around. The point is, stay focused, keep your mind right, and the best way to keep your mind right is to relax your mind in the morning. If you're feeling tense, I have yet to do this, but I've been meaning to. Find the time for 10 minutes to meditate, and everybody thinks meditations is great. No, it's just being within your own thoughts and relaxing. Because I'm a very high-strung individual, so I need that relaxed time. The gym is my sanctuary, so exercise, eat right, keep your mind right, read the right books. If anybody wants a book recommendation, I'd be happy. I can even throw them in the group as I'm reading them.
Sweet.
And yeah, write your goals down, make them insane, and put them in the present tense. And eventually, your brain will rewire it. It's scientifically proven, and you'll start to believe it, and you'll start working towards it. So you have to be consistent with it. So that's really what I have as far as that. That's what I do. It doesn't work for everybody. Everybody's a little bit different, but you find what works for you and make it work.
That's awesome.
I think I'm speechless.
Right?
I
should just end the webinar now.
Jeez.
My folks are paying off finally.
No, people are freaking out.
Derek, thank you so much. Awesome. Anybody that is missing this right now, you're missing out. Anybody that is blessed enough to watch the replay, you just added so much value to people's lives. Thank you so much, man.
I appreciate that.
We are just getting started, and you guys have not heard the last from Derek Nelson. No way, no how, okay?
Cool, man.
You have a good night, buddy. We'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks a million. Have a great one. Bye, everybody.
All right.
Hi.
What's up? Wow. How do you follow that?
Yeah, right?
Like,
I love that. That was...
that's crazy.
Well, get Zoom figured out here.
That was like, you remember back in the day when in our earlier years, Adam and I were blessed enough to be mentored by some really amazing people. I felt like I was sitting across the table with one of them.
Yep.
Like, I kind of forgot for a minute we were on a webinar with like other people watching.
That's the best part. When Ashley and I connect with people, we just like to act like we're belly to belly, sitting across the table, having a cup of coffee or something, talking. Okay. And so we're going to do some of that tonight. And how long have we been going here? Boom. Who cares? I don't care. Derek brought up some really, really good points. Is it okay if we don't get into walking you guys through how to set up the LCS tonight?
No, we're not going to.
Okay, good.
If you don't know how to set up your LCS, there's tons of videos on how to do it. We could teach you that every week, but like we're gonna this is some meat and potatoes tonight. We're gonna continue the trend that Derek hath set forth.
We are going to, and actually this is one of my favorite parts is I literally step out of the way of the camera and I let Ashley share her heart with you, and then I come back and I give my take on a couple of things. One thing that we want to talk about tonight is having a dream. Like who does this thing big and who doesn't let the small stuff in between point A and B get to them? And what type of person is that? Like, you ever see people online who are multi-millionaires and everybody thinks they have, like they were given this secret package or they were just ordained into, boom, they know so much more than me. And it's just not true. So I'm literally going to hop out of the way. And I want you to maybe, if you've never done this before, which you probably have, maybe do it differently. Explain who Adam and Ashley are. Like, who are we talking to you on Wednesday nights, okay? How are we so blessed to connect with a guy like Derek Nelson, okay? Like, did we do something special or what? But I want you to talk from your heart about your dream, and then I'll be right back because my mouth is dry after that.
Is that why you wanted to?
No, I have a sore throat. I was so excited for that.
That was amazing. So that is really hard to follow up. If you caught the previous part of this webinar, and if you didn't, you lucked out because we recorded it for you tonight, and we will be sharing this. So look out for it. Adam and I were talking earlier, and I remember I could go into so much right now, but I do want to share with you when a guy like Derek is up sharing what he just shared and dropping value and talking about, where he's come from and his past experience. Every single person has a story. And I don't know how many people I've connected with this last week that have said, hey, I'm frustrated. It's not growing fast enough, or I don't know what to write in my broadcast emails, or I reached out to this person and I didn't hear back from them. And I just want you to know that it happens to everybody. In your business, as a business owner, there comes a time where you start to have light bulb moments. And they feel slow at first, but I promise you, if you continue the course, if you keep the path, if you just stay consistent, if you believe in yourself, if you get that little piece of pessimism out of your head, the moment you start to think negatively about your business or that this won't work, or you start poking holes in things and finding what's wrong with whatever, stop doing it. Just believe in yourself enough. So, something that we haven't shared was there was a company, well, we've shared this, but we came from a previous company that we had joined when we decided to make a move from offline network marketing and wanted to do something online. We saw a lot of the same things that Derek saw. We saw being able to leverage. We saw, not having to trade our time. And for us, time is important. Like I'm married to a man that was diagnosed with cancer when he was 18 years old. And I'm blessed that he's here today because I get to live every day with my best friend. But time is so important to us. And it's something that we cherish very much. And, man, there's like 2 weeks ago or this past week, the last 2 weeks have been such a whirlwind, but the business that we were in previously shut down. We made an investment, and we're actually working with people on our team now that made much larger investments than we made. And it almost felt like dreams were completely tarnished overnight. And I remember when that happened, that so many people that we knew that were in the community that we were a part of just rolled over and said, I give up. And Adam and I looked at each other and said, we're bigger than this. Like, we were meant for more than, like, this is not defining our path. This does not, like, for me, it was not I'm going back to work, or I'm going to keep going to work for the rest of my life, until I'm, 65 or dead to work a job. Like, we're going to find something, and it's going to work because we believe in ourselves enough. And, so the story goes, we, ran into Daniel, and we were just willing. We were willing enough. We were serious enough. And we said, we're going to treat this like a business. And treating it like a business is very different than treating it like you're an employee who's going to work every single day. Or a hobby. The employees that I'm typically around, that I work with, or that I have an opportunity to lead in the corporate world, they do just enough. And at the end of the year, they whine and complain that they didn't get the raise that they wanted. And I'm like, well, let's look at what happened this last year. So imagine taking that mentality, and you are now solely responsible for all of it. There's not a company telling you what you're worth. You're telling you what you're worth. And that's hard for people. It's a mindset shift because so often we want to blame our circumstances. So often we want to blame outside influences. But ultimately, this is your responsibility. And I want you to know that we believe in you. When Adam and I got started in this thing, you guys, we knew so little. We asked so many questions, but we also empowered ourselves to go figure stuff out. As much as we talked to Daniel and asked him questions, I always, I empowered myself to go figure it out because I knew that in my business, I was going to have to do that. I knew that ultimately Daniel would pass us the torch and say, this is yours. Go lead. And I wanted to be ready when that happened. And so I didn't sit and wait for my boss or a boss, because Daniel is not our boss. He's our mentor. He's our coach. We didn't ask for permission. We just went and did it. And in our first month, I remember we said, okay, we set out our budget for, running traffic. We bought guaranteed paid signups. Our first month, our check was $78. Now, for some people, they're like,
and we went all in.
And we did go all in. For some people, they look at that and are like, that's not that much. And, so many people are looking at this. They're coming in 2 weeks and they're expecting to make, what they've already put into it. It doesn't happen like that. I want you to think about this business as a long-term business, as a long-term asset that you're pouring into. Because when you can make that shift in your mindset, everything changes. And I will tell you what, I was just saying, I don't even remember 2 or 3 weeks ago. I remember or even a few months ago when we got started, because of all of the amazing things that are happening right now. I forget about the nights that I locked myself in our office in that last business that's not even around. I spent my whole Christmas break that I took PTO on my job for and locked myself in this office and did work, and that thing went away and I didn't give up. I don't remember those hard days because I am so enjoying a night like tonight when we get to hop on a webinar with Derek, who is absolutely going to be a leader in this thing. He's already identified himself as such. And I get to surround myself with people like that every single day and grow this business.
Boom.
Sorry.
That was awesome.
Is that good?
Honey.
Is that all right?
Well, it's always good when you drop value. Did you just pinch yourself? Ashley pinched her finger. Okay, guys. expectations. Ashley just started touching on it. I think Derek kind of got into this a little bit too. And it's something that needs to be said within this community for you guys to take the next steps. It's always about understanding, and proper thinking solves everything. And Ashley said, we went all in. We bought guaranteed paid signups. We bought solo ads. We invested in our business because we understood that's what it was going to take to get it off the ground. Our expectations our expectations versus what we've actually gotten, it's blown our mind, you guys. Seriously, we joined Now Lifestyle originally because we wanted to build a big opt-in list. And we always knew that the money was in the list, and we got tired of our list drying up and other opportunities offline because there was no way to keep the funnel full. And so we literally sat down and said, we're just going to reinvest every single dime into our business over the next year. And our first month was $78. It's like, okay, well, let's go buy a solo ad. The thing that happened was we reached our 6, 8, 10 month goal in 90 days. In this month alone, we'll recoup what we've already invested in Now Lifestyle because we had the right mindset and the proper mentality. Okay. And what I'm just giving everybody permission to do is to invest in yourself, do the work, and take action every single day. Okay. But take the right action. Well, what's the right action? Well, it starts with duplicating the entire Now Lifestyle system. Set up your LCS and drive traffic. If anybody's ever really, like, people on our team are growing really super fast, and Ashley and I are growing really super fast, she'll tell you this. Every chance I get, I just literally stop. I just don't say anything. I'll give it a minute and say, Ashley, teach people to set up their LCS. Is that true?
Yes, that is true.
Her mind will just be all over the place, and I'll be like, Ashley, stop. Ashley, come here. Look me in the eye. Help them set up their LCS and drive traffic. Hey, anybody watching this? Help them set up their LCS and drive traffic. Why? Because that's it. That's the whole damn deal right there. It's already built for us. Joel Terry and Now Lifestyle, okay, Daniel Come, done a masterful job at setting up a very duplicatable system if you're willing to duplicate it, right? Can you find people like Derek Nelson? Absolutely, yes. Can you find people like Jen Weeman? Yep. Can you find people like Cole and Amanda Custard? Can you find people all over the world who see the value in what you're doing and how you're doing it because it's so duplicatable? For sure. So what's the expectation? When you come into this thing and you see people and you just, like, your picture in your mind of an internet marketer is like, well, they're free, they're multimillionaires. I saw it on HBO last week. Trust me, I know every one of them. It's not true. It's not true. It's a business, right? Expectations expectation versus reality is really different, okay? People see things like they either see themselves as a success or they're a failure. And if you would look into Ashley and I's life, we are like the biggest failures in this entire industry. We failed so many times. Seriously. Like, failed over and over and over and over again. And we had the wrong impression of what success actually is, okay? Mm-hmm. The success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. You're not going to have success big time unless you've got a dream. Success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. It does not happen overnight. Does it happen overnight?
No, it does not. Not even over 4 months.
It is not immediate fulfillment of a dream. It's the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. Okay?
And it is worthwhile.
It's worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
Should we end this with a riddle?
What's the riddle?
Well, I'll challenge you to solve this riddle in your own life, and it's going to make you think deeply. It's something that I have said over and over and over again. I've never said this in Now Lifestyle. Here it is. Everything I do on purpose for a purpose. Keeping the important thing, because I know that I know that I know that the important thing is my purpose.
And that's it.
That's all.
Just tattoo that.
All right, guys. We believe in you. We love you.
See ya.
Have a good week.
Bye.